Hey, little Jimmy, what book do you have there? Oh, this is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It's a really good book. I wish I was a wizard. That's adorable, but what if I told you the last time people thought there was a wizard, they brutally murdered him? Oh, well, isn't that wonderful? Beep! Hey, welcome to the channel. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. Yep. I'm one of those people now. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Rasputin was born on January 21st, 1869 in the village of Pokrovskoye in Siberia. His parents, Yefim Rasputin and Anna Parvatinsky, had 7 other kids, all of whom died. There may have also been a 9th child, but we don't really know because illiterate peasants don't write stuff down. Go figure. We don't really know anything about his childhood, so we can just kind of assume that he just chilled in Siberia. Did it because Siberia's cold? Anyways, we don't really know much for sure about him as a child, but some rumors say that he stole some horses, perpetrated some blasphemy, joined some cults, normal kid stuff. Once he got a little older, though, he went to another village and met a girl named... Yeah, that's a hard pass for me. And married her in 1887. Skipping right along, we find Rasputin in 1897, still married, 2nd kid on the way, and foaming at the mouth for a transformative religious experience. So just like that, he left his wife and kids and walked to another unpronounceable village to study with some monks at a monastery. After a few months, Rasputin came back a changed man. He became a vegetarian, stopped drinking, and started praying a lot more. He then made a habit of frequently leaving his family and wandering around the countryside like an uglier Russian or Jesus. And people liked it! But the second I abandon my family, grow a nasty beard, and attempt to spread my radical beliefs, everyone starts asking questions! But somehow, Rasputin ended up becoming a big deal in the Russian church world and landed a gig in St. Petersburg in 1905. However, the city folk weren't super inclined to listen to a stinky bearded man. Picture this. It's 10:28 on a Sunday morning. Mary Ann and Barbara Joe are leading their weekly Knitting for Jesus class when all of a sudden, "Alright, I'm gonna teach you about God." Sir, the meal for the homeless is on Wednesday. That's it, you're excommunicated. Pardon? Yep, Jesus doesn't love you anymore. Okay, so that may have been slightly embellished, but point is that people were pretty weirded out by Rasputin right off the bat, and he probably would have ended up back in Siberia, but instead, he got lucky. Nicholas II, the current Tsar of Russia, had only one heir to the throne, his son, Alexei. However, Alexei had hemophilia, which meant that his blood was pretty much unable to clot. Basically, this meant that even the smallest cut would just keep on bleeding until he died of blood loss. Since modern medicine wasn't really a thing back then, Alexei's mother, the Tsarina, was willing to give just about anything a shot when it came to her son's health. Enter Rasputin. Alexei had recently suffered a small bruise from a carriage ride and was currently suffering from potentially fatal internal bleeding. Desperate, the Tsarina asked Rasputin to pray for Alexei, which he promptly did. Then, the next day, Alexei miraculously recovered. Because of this, the Tsar hired Rasputin to be Alexei's, healer. So, first day on the job, do you have any questions, Mr. Rasputin? Yeah. What am I supposed to do again? Well, you're in charge of healing Alexei. Why can't you just do it? Last time I tried to heal someone it ended badly.
No! Max, you gotta...
Did you try praying for him? So now Rasputin is living in St. Petersburg and getting paid fat rubles to pray for a sick child. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal. However, because of Rasputin's sort of mysterious position in the government, people started to think that he was secretly controlling the royal family using his dark magic. The poor of Russia viewed Rasputin as an inspiration because he was proof that peasants like them could make it in the world. However, due to their lack of real knowledge on him, he was almost a mythical figure, someone that you would gossip with your friends about, or worship as the harbinger of the apocalypse, you know. That being said, the rich folks in Russia were not fans of Rasputin and were fearful of his power over the royal family. This fear finally reached a boiling point in 1915 when Tsar Nicholas left the capital to lead the Russian armies against the Germans, effectively leaving the Tsarina and Rasputin in charge of the domestic affairs of the empire. This was the last straw for the Russian nobility. In December of 1916, some nobles decided that enough was enough and cooked up a plan to finally kill Rasputin. The three main assassins were Felix Yusupov, Vladimir Pereshkovek, and Dmitry Pavlovich. Here's how it went down. Shortly after midnight, Rasputin went over to Felix's house. Felix gave him some cake that had been laced with cyanide. Rasputin ate it. Mildly annoyed, Felix then gave Rasputin 3 glasses of wine, all of which were laced with cyanide. Rasputin drank all of them. Felix was getting a little tired of this, so he just straight up shot the drunk Rasputin in the chest with a gun that he had borrowed from Dmitri. After trying to cover up some evidence, Felix went to check on Rasputin to make sure that he was dead. Suddenly, Rasputin got up and started attacking Felix. Felix then ran upstairs to grab the gun from Dmitri, but by the time he got back downstairs, Rasputin had leaped out of the window and was crawling through the snow. Panicked, Vladimir shot Rasputin twice in the back and once in the head. Felix and Dmitri then put the body in their car and drove to a frozen river where they dumped the body of Rasputin. The really weird part is that 2 days later when Rasputin's body was found, some reports say that there was water in his lungs, suggesting that he drowned to death, meaning that Rasputin was still alive when he was dumped in the river. Wow, Connor, history sure is fascinating. Shut up, you're ruining my moment!